Yeah, welcome to Three Conservative Gimps. We got a big show today. A lot of crazy stuff that we're going to be covering today. Some changes in our panel today. Lloyd can't join us because he's got company from out of town, so he's taking care of that. But we got a mystery guest that's going to join us all the way from the great state of New York. You probably know him as Charles Galusky. Hey, Charles, welcome.
Hey, Art.
Hey, welcome. How's the weather there in New York?
Getting kind of gloomy, but otherwise it was nice and warm today. Got the
Good.
got some windows open. Put the screens up on the on all the other windows on the house. So
Wonderful, wonderful. It's been uh, warm in the upper 60s today. It's cloudy right now. We may get some rain a little later. I just stayed home and vegged today. Did some house cleaning. Uh, Finally vacuumed up. So got that done and got the packages ready from last night's winter. Going out tomorrow after work. So get those out for um, Rose Burns, the toffee, and the keychain to Mark R. White. Congratulations, guys. So, uh, this first topic we're going to talk about, I need a drink because this is unfreaking believable.
when I read the title for the show, I was like, "You got to be kidding me!" I mean, I'm not a comedian, but
Nope.
even I could have a field day with that.
Yeah, I mean that if, for those of you in the chat, we're talking about Kamala Harris is now the czar of AI. And here's why I need a drink because that is unfreaking believable. I mean, she is the queen of word salad. She needs a salad dressing every time just to gargle before she gives a speech. I mean, really. Uh, here's here's artificial intelligence. Ooh,
Avada.
yeah. And I found out about this. I think it was Friday or yesterday on Greg Gutfeld, and I thought, oh God, you know, I just a bit they're doing. And then I followed up, and I'm like, oh, holy crap, they're serious.
Yeah,
I mean, all the people
I googled
that
the essentially the title of your show. Kamala AI czar, and it came
yeah,
back with a couple of articles saying that she's been tapped to do this. She's supposed to protect us from the dangers of AI. And
yeah,
I just, oh my god,
yeah. I mean, she can't even protect us from the people coming over the southern border. Wasn't that one of her jobs as well?
I don't know what. Well, given their attitude and the way they want to run the southern border, making her czar sort of plays right into what they want to have going on down there.
Yep. Well, they did send down some National Guards troops because I guess there's a date that's going to be expiring. I think it has something to do with uh, COVID or something, but they're
What's this?
worried
That's the
about.
Title 42 thing.
Yes, that's correct. Title 42, and how that could lead to a big surge of migrants, or what we like to call illegal aliens.
It's just well,
I know you're speechless,
yeah,
Charles.
Plus, we sort of squirreled there for a little bit, and I'm like, okay, well, but yeah, I mean, she's supposed to be getting together with the heads of the prominent AI companies. So I'm assuming it's people like,
Yeah.
Microsoft,
Ooh.
ChatGPT. What's the other one? I don't remember the name of the other one, but there's to discuss the technology and to try and protect us from it.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, I mean, it's going to happen. She's going to have the meetings. She's got
yeah.
$140 million budget to try and get stuff done. I just don't think that the stuff that really needs to get done is what's really going to get
Right. Well, the significance of time is significance to the time of significance
done.
with the passage of time.
Yes.
And that's how significant it is. I don't know if you've seen some of her speeches. It's just like, well, and it gives a whole new meaning to the word salad, where she's just throwing words. I mean, it's like the game Hangman,
Mm-hmm.
where you guess the word and you put it together, or what's the
Perhaps it's more
what's
like the
that
word salad bar.
show Pat Sajak is on?
Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah, kind of like that. I like to buy a vowel. Oh man. So,
I've seen
what
it.
is AI? Uh, do you have a definition of what AI is? Artificial intelligence.
Well, my own. Well, it's just that it's an intelligence that it was not born naturally, so to speak. It's not an organic. It's not an organism per se, like a human being or any other. Well, actually, we believe it or not, the humans are what are known as sapient
Mm-hmm.
because we have like a self consciousness as well as intelligence and sentience. Sentience is like a level below sapience.
Right.
Um, so from for me, an artificial intelligence would be one that was constructed by man and then programmed by man somehow. And
Mm.
it's that programmed by man. That's where the real sticky wicket is.
Yeah.
Because there's
True.
what does this artificial intelligence, whatever it happens to be, in
Mm-hmm.
any unit or R2D2 or C3PO style robot or even a toaster for crying out loud
Yeah.
or Chat GPT, where does its moral compass lie?
Yeah. That's true. And it.
Does it
I
even
mean, it
understand what a moral
reminds me
compass
of
is?
Star Trek Next Generation with Data, which was a constructed being that if you watch the show, you'll see that he becomes sentient.
Mm-hmm.
So, the danger is this could take over to where they could pretend to be someone, whether living or dead, or a whole new person. And how are we going to tell whether that is a real person or not?
Well, currently there are telltale signs. They might be hard for most people to spot, but there are telltale signs. Like, for example, um, the picture of Trump being arrested. That was generated by AI. That was not real. And there
Oh,
were telltale signs like, Trump's hair wasn't right even for Donald Trump. It didn't look the way his real hair looks. There were some
right.
weird things, other weird things going on in the picture, like people's hands didn't look right. But if AI is ever upgraded, so to speak, to get past those kinds of things,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, then it's going to be a problem. We already had that problem during the Obama administration, because I think somebody took um, one of Obama's speeches or something and used deep fake to have him say things that he didn't really say.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure that I've watched a Trump ad or something like that, which may have used that same technology,
Right.
because there were things I'm thinking, Donald Trump can read a speech pretty well, but I've never heard him quite talk like this. And so it
Right.
made me wonder how much of it was real, how much of it was samples of his voice, how much of it was somebody doing an impersonation, and then those impersonations being added to the samples in a very astute fashion,
Mm-hmm.
to be very, very convincing.
Yep.
That's the big problem.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean,
But I can guarantee you, just like weaponized viruses and bacteria are a problem, and we've had people studying that,
mm-hmm.
they're going to take they're going to and suddenly now we have a worldwide pandemic.
Right.
There's going to be a situation where, yes, we're going to study this artificial intelligence problem, and somebody's going to be taking all this information, scraping it off, and giving it to somebody um, whose sole purpose is to use it in exactly the way that the American people wouldn't want to
Mm-hmm.
have it used.
Yeah. Um, it just makes. I mean, back in the old days, when you used to sample someone's speeches and cut them up and make it sound like they said. Now you don't need that. You got artificial intelligence that could
Mm-hmm.
do the same inflection, the same tones,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't know whether that person actually said it or not.
Right.
Hmm. I
And
mean, have you seen those? Uh, what the videos where they take some old photograph and they make it look like it's alive, where the eyes move and they're smiling and they turn their heads, and some of them even sing, which is
I
kind
think
of
I've seen a
crazy.
little bit of that.
Yeah.
But for me, the biggest deal was uh they did that. Well, they called it a derp fake, DERP fake, but it's still just a deep fake where they took Harrison Ford's face, uh, a young Harrison Ford's face, and put it over the face of the actor who played Han Solo in the Solo movie over some of his scenes. It's
Right.
pretty freaking. It's really close to flawless. It's really,
Hmm.
really good.
Hmm. Yeah. It's just crazy. Uh, for example, just before coming on the show, I was going into StreamYards and over there on YouTube, and there's a Biden ad. He's already got campaign ads running on YouTube. I'm like, oh, yeah,
Haven't seen that one
but
yet.
yeah, I think it just started, and it was just a, how they play a few seconds and do an ad, and then you get that thing where you get
Yeah, skip ad
skip the
button.
ad.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, like
So,
on all my browsers and stuff, I have the ad blocker, so I don't see them.
oh, there you
And
go.
when it does come to the skip the ad thing, I'm right on top of that. Get me by this. Get me by this.
Just don't do it on my channel, because that's how I make money. So,
it's going to be
next on the agenda is what are your thoughts on the de-dollarization? I keep hearing that the last couple of weeks, where countries are starting to, buy goods instead of in dollars in other currencies.
Yeah, they're looking. I think they're going to be using the digital yuan.
Yeah.
And it's scary.
Yeah. I think it's mainly the Russians and the Iranians, because then they could get around the sanctions that are on those countries.
Well, isn't it all the BRICS nations?
Yeah, on the
Brazil,
yeah.
India, Russia, China, and what's the S?
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember the country that was S in the BRICS.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But they're like, the biggest outside the United States. They're the biggest players on the planet.
Right. And what gets me worried is I'm going to be retiring soon, and what is that going to do to my retirement? I mean, if I do retire in the Philippines, is the value of my money going to be less? Is it going to be more expensive to live there? I don't know.
I don't know either, and it's it's particularly daunting to me because I aside from me sort of nursing my back right now, I've had I hate to call it a chronic thing because it does get better. It's just that it's taking an extraordinarily long time to get better because it was so bad to begin with.
Right.
But thankfully, my mom has been able to, take care of the both of us. We're not rich. We are comfortable. Okay.
Right.
Which is, a blessing in and of itself.
Mm-hmm.
And I've heard one person say, I forget who it was talking about the effects of everybody no longer buying and using dollars. They've said that those dollars will come back home. I mean, we're already facing so much inflation that if all that money suddenly gets backwashed into the United States, it'll be $25 for a loaf of bread.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Will the government then turn around and go, oh, we've got, a couple of $1 trillion extra, so we're just, even though we're going to pump it back out to people, doubling and tripling people's retirement because the prices are going to double and triple, so it'll all even out. And that's the thing that makes sense, and governments don't do things that make sense.
Yeah, that's true.
And I'm just getting now physically better to the point where I can consider, trying to start up some sort of a career again myself. And it's like, well, what do I do? Who are my clients going to be? Right. Because I'm looking at like a creative career. Who are my clients going to be in the face of the new wave of AI coming out? There are already photographers and artists losing clients over this. Maybe not in any huge amount yet, but it's there. I started following a gentleman on YouTube, a photographer on YouTube, and he's British, so he can command like tens of thousands of pounds for a commercial shoot. But now all this stuff can be done by AI for £20 a month.
Right. Mhm.
Now, luckily, he's created a bulwark for himself financially so that he could, if he needed to stop for a couple of years and do something else, he can, and he's not going to get screwed. And he's already put out a YouTube video. He didn't mention AI, but he's already said, well, it's time for me to change and do something else with photography. Right. So,
yeah, it's good to have multiple channels like I do. I have this channel, I have my drone channel, I have my fishing channel, and my cooking channel. So, I mean, it gives me different opportunities to create more content and create a niche. And if one of those starts to blow up, then I'll be focusing more on that. Right now, it's my drone channel is the one that's generating income right now.
Yeah. I wanted to start a cooking channel a while ago, but because of my issues, like I tried to do a short video about making, bread from scratch for the holidays, making bread and rolls from scratch for the holidays.
Right.
Well, because of my issues, I worked on it for like 6 hours one day, and I couldn't even get the I couldn't even get the dough to rise properly. So it was 11:30 at night, and I'm like, I can't go on with this one particular shoot for this day, and that sort of tanked the whole thing for me.
Well, speaking of getting the dough to rise, let's welcome all the way from Port St. Lucie. It is Uncle Bill. Welcome, Bill.
Hey, Bill.
Hey, what in the hell is that supposed to mean?
What?
You call me a doughboy? And hi, mystery man. Because I certainly don't know that that's you, Charles.
Well, Art did kind of say that it was me, so.
Well, I did he?
Yeah, at the beginning of the show.
I wasn't here at the beginning of the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just recognized you from your eyes.
It's funny because I do actually have green eyes, I think.
Well, we're not economists here, but major country, and BRICS is, by the way, is Brazil and India, the other two countries. It's 4 countries. And so far, they haven't done it, but they're talking about getting off the dollar standard worldwide, which would be very, very bad for us.
Right.
Good job, Joe.
Yep.
It was bound to happen sooner or later. However, I don't know how long that would last or whether that is even going to work because the Chinese economy isn't as strong as people think it is. It's not as stable as people think it is.
Right.
Avada, by the way.
Avada.
But we'll see. Hopefully that doesn't happen because, for folks heading into retirement soon, your fixed incomes might be not enough to fix your toilet.
Right.
So, in any case, and then artificial intelligence. Did you guys already talk about that?
Yep.
Yes, we did. If you want to give your 2 cents on that,
please.
With the Kamala Harris, the AI czar.
Yeah, that's pretty fun. Well, hopefully she'll. I mean, AI needs to run its course, and people that know what they're doing should be in charge of it. Ultimately, so really putting her in charge of it's great because she'll probably do exactly what she does with everything else. Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. You said the government getting involved in that is probably not the greatest idea, to be honest. So, I that's all I got to say. She's not going to do a damn thing. She's just going to be the czar, and that's just going to be in her resume of things that she allegedly does, and that's it. So I don't have any opinion on her getting involved in it. Now, should government put restrictions and Should we be worried, or do we watch too many sci-fi movies where your toaster reaches out and kills you? I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, the one thing with computers that you can always do is you can always unplug them. So.
Yep, that's true. I mean, didn't they say that about the automobile way back in the day? Oh, this is we should
we didn't
stay
start
with
plugging.
horse and buggy. The cars are too dangerous.
We didn't start plugging in cars until recently. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course they did. I mean, it actually trains. They actually believed that human beings couldn't go above 20 or 25 miles an hour, that you would die.
That was 60 miles.
Oh, I don't know. I think
Yeah,
it was
60
because
miles
they
an hour
thought
because they
that
thought all the air would get sucked out.
I think it was 20. I think you're just too fast for me. I don't know. I'm talking about back in the beginning. Let me see. Jaybird. My goodness. Okay. You asked me to come and sit in for Lloyd, but I don't have a dummy. Wait. Maybe I do. Let's see what's going on.
Did you finally paint that 3D? What was it? That little robot thing you?
I'm sorry.
Well, remember that little robot thingy that you 3D printed? You had.
That wasn't a robot.
Yeah.
That was an astronaut.
An astronaut. Okay.
Yeah, I gave that to Laura. That's in England right now. He's traveled. He's traveled through space and time and made it his way to somewhere in England. I'm not sure where she's living now, but somewhere in England.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Steve. Welcome in.
Yeah, welcome, Steve. Good to see you.
Chris,
yeah.
But again, I don't think AI is a worry yet. And can it become a worry? Yeah, it can become a worry. I mean, the things right now, and it may seem first world, or at least kids are cheating with them in school. Kids are letting them. Kids are using them to write their homework for them, and write their assignments for them, and write their even poetry for them, or whatever. Which is bad, but kids are going to cheat one way, and in the long run, they're only hurting themselves, because they just won't be able to do anything once they get out, and people will notice right away. And it's sad. I tell you, I hire young people, and it's amazing what they. I mean, I have a bunch of really good kids working for me, but I see a lot of not so great ones come and go. But the ones that I have working for me, very proud, very, very good guys and girls.
Good.
And the one girl going to college, really very smart, beautiful girl, got a great future ahead of her. And one of my best workers, just hustles, and bright, shiny at it. Couldn't say enough nice things about her. And then, but the other day, we were talking about a bill, and I said we got to add the $200 on to 15%. Well, that'd be $30, on the tab. And she looks at me and goes, I don't know how you figure that out like that. I could never do that. Now, either she's, practicing on how to butter the toast of old men, or she really can't do 15% of $200, so which is interesting. So I have to ask her what she's going to college for, because it's clearly not math.
Yeah, or accounting. Maybe she'll be working in AI.
Yeah, I don't think so. That's a lot of math.
Yep.
Yeah, like I said, I don't. We're worried it's going to take over our day. It all depends on who the morons in charge are. You're gonna let AI take over the defense of the country, like they did in the movies.
Oh yeah. Would you like to play a game of?
Well, even there's that, and there's Terminator, and Skynet was in charge of all the nuclear weapons and the defensive grid of the country. And come on, I mean, come on. How could you even depend on that? Not to mention the fact, all I got to do is blow up a atomic weapon in our atmosphere, and the EMP that comes from that will shut everything down anyway.
Yeah, that's true. Bill,
Well,
do
to shut
you
us down.
follow?
They're probably hardened under the ground, but still. Sorry, what?
Do you follow the History Guy? His channel, YouTube. Oh, he had a great just recently great show where there was a nuclear accident up in South Dakota. It was a Minuteman missile where they were having an issue with some of the warnings were going on, and so they sent a technician down into the silo to see what the short was or what the problem. And so he uses a screwdriver to remove a fuse in the assembly, and he's popping it back in using instead of using the appropriate tool you're supposed to use because he didn't have that. So I'll use this. So what happened? The re-entry vehicle on the missile ignited, and the warhead popped off the top of the missile and fell down the side in the silo.
Oh crap!
Yeah,
Did they have the extended warranty on it?
yeah. I don't know, but it was interesting.
I'm sure he voided that warranty.
I don't think that warhead is triggered by contact. You know?
No. But that was luckily that part of the system was not activated. But
however, it could crack open. It could cause a radiation leak. You know, he could have lost all the hair in his killions. It could have been ugly. But obviously, had to shut the silo down, which is a national security risk, having even one silo down. So,
but nobody knew about this until 2017.
When did this happen?
It happened in 1964.
Oh,
yeah.
And what? It just laid there?
Well, no, they recovered the warhead and it was put back on the missile with new
duct tape and stuff.
Yeah, tape.
I'm seeing something like something out of Laverne and Shirley.
They probably watched the Red Green show and said, duct tape is great for everything.
It is.
If she doesn't find you handsome, she'll find you handy. Yeah.
What? Is that a commercial?
Oh, you've never watched the Red Green show?
No.
That's a Canadian TV show. Well, if you lived in, I'm sure Charles has probably watched it. Being up in New York, being close to Canada, you get a lot of Canadian.
You can watch it on public television.
I don't think it's the distance from Canada as to whether you're going to receive Canadian television shows, Artie. Come on, you're so silly. I'm sorry, I interrupted you, Charles. Please continue.
Well, it was. I got to watch it on PBS on public television. And there are some episodes on YouTube now. So if you can Google the Red Green Show and catch maybe not a whole episode, but you can catch a lot of his routines.
Right.
But yeah, it was at the end. He'd have some sort of a segment about what you could do as a man to be more handy. And at the end of it, he would say, referring to your wife or girlfriend, if she doesn't find you attractive, or if she doesn't find you handsome, she should she should at least find you handy.
Handsy.
Handy. Not handsy, not as in grab you, but handy as in capable, as in being able to do manly stuff around the house, make repairs.
That's the only reason my wife keeps me around.
Mm-hmm.
That's just my job. You know what I did today? I fixed the carburetor on the rider mower.
Oh, good.
I accomplished things today. I put a new. I ordered and installed a new battery on her Dyson vacuum cleaner. And took it apart and cleaned it out. I got to contribute to make sure she cleans this place.
Right.
and cuts the grass, and
And you got a new TV, which is good.
I got her a new I got a new TV because that one broke. 3 months. TCL Chinese shit.
Yep.
Oh, sorry, because I bought another Chinese one to replace it. Different company though. Right. I know it's cheap. It was cheap. It just all she does. It's a 4K TV, and all she does is watch YouTube on
it. But she can watch in 4K
now. Not the Chinese soap opera she's been watching, so I don't know.
I got a Dynex TV.
What?
Dynex.
Oh, Dynex. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You still make those?
I don't know, but
I don't think so.
I've had this thing forever. Yeah. It works.
Well, I was going to go South Korean. I was looking at, Samsung, because at least they're our friends. And what do you call the other one? Help me.
Oh, Hyundai.
No. Does Hyundai make TVs now? No, the two biggest TVs.
I know they made ships at one time. But anyway.
They made shit. I know, but they got better. No, God damn it. What's the two major, if you're going to buy a good TV besides Sony and Samsung and
RCA,
Vizio,
Panasonic, Motorola,
naming all the crap ones. Continue.
Vizio's good.
Vizio's okay. It's okay.
Well,
okay.
I've got a Westinghouse.
Actually, Chinese. That's actually a California company. Did you know that? Now they're not manufactured here, but there's a guy who started the company in California, but those are made in Taiwan, so they probably are a little better than some of the other ones out there. I've bought Vizio before. They're okay.
LG,
for the love of God. I said South Korea. I should have been able to figure it out. So I was looking at the two of them, and I said, I save $100, because you know what? Buying a better brand isn't necessarily guaranteed TV's going to last. The components all come from the same places, really. Unless you can guarantee you're going to get good Japanese components inside of it, which you can't guarantee, except possibly if you buy a Sony. I mean, the Bravias have really good repair, repair histories. But even those there'll be Chinese parts in them sometimes. So, But anyway, I digress. But a Bravia would have been $200.
Bravia was, yeah. And then there's what is it? Not Inspiron, but another. Anyway,
how about a Hisense?
Hisense, yes.
Yeah.
Largest producer, the biggest part of the largest market share in China. Biggest producer of TVs there. Whatever. I feel bad though. I shouldn't have sent the money to China, but it was already bought. It was in the Best Buy. It's good.
There you go. You could have paid it in Filipino peso. That's what I did.
73 million pesos or whatever it comes out to.
Yeah. It's 55 pesos to $1 right now.
Is that all?
Yep.
Yeah, I have a Samsung in the living room, a 60-inch that I bought back when $1,100 was a really good deal for a 60-inch television. It was a great deal. Got it directly from Samsung around Christmas time. So that tells you how old it is. It's 6300 series, whatever. Perfect. And it's on way too much. And I mean, we're the kind of people that it'll be on and we'll leave the room. And just going and going and going and going. We're very conscientious about being green. And but it's been going for years and years and years. I just saw about 5 or 6 pixels finally after all these years. But I think my wife hit it with a broom or something because it looks like because they're white. They're not black like pixels usually go out there black. These are white, like it's like a little tiny string of damage. You barely tell it's there. I'll have to get a new one soon. But this time, maybe I will do the Bravia.
There you go.
I don't know because I bought LGs that disappointed me. Bought them for my dad. I've bought Samsungs that have disappointed me. So we'll see.
Well, you could be like James Tanner, and he had a Samsung fridge that he repaired and Samsung TV and what was it? Oh, a Samsung Aircon that he repaired.
Sometimes I repair these things. Like you order. I mean, really, to repair them, you buy a board. Like those TVs have two boards in them. Basically, two boards on each. If you can get them apart. The last that Samsung that went bad, to open it, it's like opening a cell phone. You actually have to work your way instead of just taking screws out and pulling the cover up.
Yeah.
You had
Take
to
a
work.
butter knife and you go along, go pop, pop, pop,
Like,
pop,
the
pop.
hell with this thing. I won that one at a charity event. So I just put it out front and somebody else fixed it. I'd leave it out there. 15 minutes later, it's gone. Somebody else could fix it.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got there's a power board, and then there's the board, the main board that has all the
Power board, main
components.
board, right? Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually I went through the efforts of looking, checking out the symptoms, did a search, saw what I needed to do, and decided I'm not doing it. I'm not. That TV, that TCL was on sale for $239 for a 50-inch TV for a bedroom. That's only going to ever have like 720p or maybe 1080p YouTube videos on it all day. So, I mean, it's hooked up to the TV. I'm a cord cutter. It's got Amazon Prime on it and Paramount through Amazon and all that stuff. But she never watches that. I watch that in the living room, and it's also got the channels from the. I have a roof antenna with a booster, and
there you go.
Like 40 something channels from the air. I mean, 30 are watchable, because some of them are not in English, and a bunch of them are shopping networks and religious channels. But there's a good 28, 30 of them that are definitely watchable. So
right, yeah, I've got one of those digital antennas. It's a flat little black thing you stick up on your wall. I think I've got it taped up on the wall, and I get over 60 channels. And like you said, most of it is crap, just religious or
depends where you live.
Spanish.
I have a roof antenna, just like the old days. Yeah, it's old is new again.
Yep, that's
the stations. Some stations are 60 miles from here. So.
When the dish antennas were like all the rage, when people had that great big 10-foot diameter dish, and they were getting shows from all over the world with that. And then they got smaller and smaller, and you got these 1.5-foot diameter dishes for Direct TV, and now you got Starlink, which is like it's like a dinner dish. It's a small little thing. Yeah.
Steve's talking about his Samsung. Yep. He loves his Samsung. Almost no right reflection compared to the LG. Well, I mean, it depends on what model you get. They do have them with non-glare screens and whatever. But and there's all different models. I mean, you could spend $10,000 on a TV, or spend $250 on a TV and not give a crap if it dies in 2 years.
Right.
But I got smart this time. I paid the $30. I don't usually buy warranties. Yeah. And that's the first time it really bit me in the behind was this other one. But it's under manufacturer warranty, and I might end up having to do is put it is ship it. It's probably going to cost almost half as much to ship it as the TV cost, if not more. Mm-hmm. Hopefully there'll be a repair center somewhere in Florida I could drive to. I'll just drop it off.
There you go.
But they're going to warranty that TV. Then I don't know what I'm going to do with it.
Right.
We'll see.
Okay, cool.
Go gift it to somebody.
So, anybody else have any other political topics?
Politics. Yeah, politics. Yeah.
So, yesterday on my show, we talked about Florida has made it to where you can't use Chinese drones for, I guess, for police or fire, which I think is dumb.
Oh, we don't know if it's dumb or not. We don't know. It may seem dumb to us because we love them.
Right.
You know, it may seem dumb to us because we don't know what we don't know.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's claims that all the data is on Amazon servers. So what? What does that mean? The Chinese don't have access to it? I mean, that's a bunch of bullcrap. They have access to everything that you're drone.
Mm-hmm.
Look, can they do anything with your drone information? No, and that's why Florida didn't ban private use or even commercial use, because what we're doing is of no interest to foreign governments.
Right.
However, rescue, law enforcement, emergency services, that could be emergency service infrastructures. That could possibly be interesting to these folks. You know, and is it? I don't know. Do they really care about it? I don't know. But don't forget, it's a Chinese company, and if it's a Chinese company in a fascist, communist / socialist, whatever, that form of nation at any time can order any company. It's not a free country to turn over any and all at any time information that they gather on anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, we're not there yet, but we're getting there. You know,
right?
Yeah, I mean, and so is Canada. Did you see that Canada's thinking about it's actually in the government to consider banning Fox News now?
Oh boy!
I mean, think about that. Talk about fascism.
Mm-hmm.
It's one thing to not agree, you know, and to even publicly make statements that you don't agree, but to shut down the voice, the opposing voice, it's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It's insane. How is that? How is this? Oh, because you don't like what one of the people on the channel said about trans rights, and they're concerned because actually what it was is Tucker Carlson made a comment allegedly. This is what the initial driving thing was, that the trans community is not to say at war, but is at odds and is with Christianity. And they're, you know, but is this a big surprise? That there's a conflict between gays, trans, any of them? I guess say the Catholic Church.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way it's always been. But the Catholics aren't tracking them down the streets and killing them. But that's their claim, is that talking about it is endangering the lives of those transsexual. Yeah, conservatives don't care how they dress, what they do, how they live. That's the whole point. Libertarian means you live your life and you be happy. Just don't make me pay for it. That's all. Don't hurt me. Don't affect me. Don't make me pay for it. Period. Right. Other than that, God bless you and live your life and enjoy yourself. That's libertarianism. And that's if that's as right wing as it gets. And if they're afraid of that, they're full of baloney. They're not afraid of that. But it's any dissenting voice needs to be shut down. Let us not forget, and I hate to bring up this term because maybe but the NAZI people, you know, National Socialist Workers Union. Does that sound conservative to you?
No.
Nope.
Not by today's standards. No, that's not conservatism. It was a socialist platform, union-based party, which shut down opposing media, shut down opposing voices. The Knights of the Long Knives, when they went after and tried to kill them all, and actually did kill quite a few of them, the opposition party. This is what it looks like we're facing now. Now, that sounds like crazy to even say something like that. I hate even saying it. Makes me sound like a nut job. But you see it little by little. Do you think it happened overnight in Germany? It was little by little, and it just made more and more sense. And they flip this script and call us fascists, but they clearly don't even know what fascism means.
Yep, that's right.
Controlling the media for your safety. We're doing it for your people. And there's no such thing. How about this most recent statement? That came from our government. There's no such thing as someone's child, an individual's child. That's not your child. There's no such thing. It's everyone's child. Well, that sounds like Hitler Youth to me. What does that mean?
Oh.
You're taking the rights of people to raise their children the way they want to for their own good. Sorry, man.
I mean,
it's
just
scary times.
they're just looking out for your rights. REICA, right?
And people want to. There's a lot of folks on the left. They like to compliment China. They like to compliment these. They don't say it out loud all the time. Let us not forget that they employed a draconian abortion when you weren't going to have a male child because they wanted men for their military. They wanted men for their industry. Here's a country that has little to no respect for their own women and whatever,
Yeah. Oh, and now they're facing a population crisis because they're in a spiral where they're not reproducing at a fast enough rate.
Thanks, Jay, bro, but that would take too much work. I'm just ranting off the cuff right now. I just got lucky. Anyway, I'm sorry, Artie. Please go ahead.
Well, like I said, they're facing a crisis of their own in their population where their deaths are exceeding their live birth rate. So their population is on the decline because of what the one child rule, and they made it, well, you can only have males instead of females.
Well, no, it's a one child rule, but they made it. They made it. Women and female children in their society are less than worthless. They cost you money because you have to marry them off and you have to pay the dowry. So, ergo, the families. I mean, there's still girls born there, obviously. For people who love there's still people. The Chinese people aren't bad people. It's the government we're talking about here. They're wonderful. They're just as wonderful as any other people, except the damn Irish. It's a joke. Anyway, because they just won't stop having kids. Anyway, but to have a daughter in a country where it's very difficult for them to earn a living and to help the family, and you have to marry off and pay a dowry. They want boys. If they're going to have one, they want a boy, and unfortunately, that's what's going on over there. It's been going on for decades.
Right.
People think it's so terrible here. They should have lived through Mao Zedong and watched 70 million people starve to death when communism didn't work. And then lo and behold, they started introducing more capitalistic aspects to their country. And they're doing so much better now. They're not doing great. But telling you, it's not as stable as people think it is. Why do you think they want Taiwan? I mean, what is Taiwan? Taiwan was a separate country. Taiwan is where people escaped to that didn't want to be part of the Chinese. It was nothing when they founded the country of Taiwan. They didn't want it. They didn't care about it. Now they care about it because it was run as a democratic capitalist country that has done phenomenally and is one of the larger economies in the world. So of course they want it. Of course it produces what 60%, 70% of the silicon chips in the world.
Right.
Of course they want it. The only reason they're not blowing it up now is because they don't want to damage that industry.
Right. And part of the reason they want it is because if you remember during World War II, there were two factions running China. There was the nationalist Chinese by Chiang Kai-shek and Mao Zedong. And when the nationalists lost power, they escaped to Taiwan, and that's where Chiang Kai-shek went, and that started the whole divide. I don't know if you know this, but Taiwan had control of a couple islands that were very close to the shores of China, which China took back I think in the
It wasn't
in
just him.
'70s.
Any of the royals that were still alive escaped there too. You know, yeah, it was Formosa. That's correct. Yep, I do
Right.
remember that. Yep, and
And it
like I
was under
said,
Japanese control for many years
well,
during World War II.
yeah. No, we got unfortunately get to thank Japan for the creation of the communist state of China, because if it wasn't for that, if it wasn't for World War II, communism probably wouldn't have taken over in China.
Possibly, yeah.
Oh,
But
they thanked
well,
the Japanese actually did a formal apology for World War II, and the response from China was, "What are you apologizing for? If it wasn't for you,
yeah.
we wouldn't have taken over."
Mhm.
Anyway,
Yep.
but they're there, and I'd rather
Right.
be friends with them than enemies. But that's not what they're
Mhm.
interested in.
Yep.
And again, growing economy, it should be. They have what, 1 point, how many billion people live there?
I think
1.4,
1.2, 1.4
1.3,
billion
something
people.
like that. Billion people. They've got they have 4 times the population we do, and our economy is still maybe 65-70% of our economy, which is kind of scary to even say that, because it was half just 10 years ago, it was half the size of our country. But anyway, so their overall living standards aren't as high as ours is, and ours isn't as high as smaller countries with rich oil reserves and like that.
Mm-hmm.
But they're working on it, and they want it to be that, and they want to be the next United States. That doesn't necessarily want to kill us all, because I'm sure they don't. They'd rather infiltrate slowly but surely, and slowly but surely we would become a socialist / communist. Oh, look what's happening! It's happening now.
Mm-hmm.
With a little bit of pressure.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, Bill, I want to thank you for joining us, and Charles, always great to have you. I want to thank
You're welcome.
everybody in the chat for coming to the show. We did a little bit over an hour, and everybody have a great week, and we'll have more topics to discuss next week. God bless you. Catch you next time. Bye bye.